Hello everyone, welcome back to another Beer versus Beer. Today I've got another Bavarian duel for you. I'm just going to adjust this camera angle. Sorry about that. Today we've got a return of the Andechser Weissbier Hell, which is the third appearance this has had. It previously went up against the Weinstephaner Weissbier, Hefeweizen, and the Franziskaner. And I was actually surprised to realize that this is only the second appearance of this brewery, Ayinger, in our competition, because Ayinger is one of the top, most highly rated German beers there are. I've had many of theirs before. I've had this one. This is the Weissbier. If you can read that, because my camera still sucks as far as my lighting. Weissbier. It's a Bavarian Hefeweizen. I've had the uweisse, which is, they call it dark Weissbier, which is a little bit kind of odd since Weissbier literally means white beer. But it means, it's basically a wheat beer. But it's a darker version, although it's not that dark. Like if you compare it to the Andechs Weissbier Dunkel or the Weinstephaner Dunkles Weissbier, it's not nearly as dark as those, but still it's a little bit darker. I just had one the other day. I think it was the first time I had that one. Enjoyed it a lot. I've had the Weissbier before. I've had their Celebrator, which is often ranked as like the #1 Doppelbock. I've had their pills. I've had their Alte Bayerisch Dunkel. This was like a dark lager. Anyway, I've had several of theirs. I can never even remember all the ones I've had. But I noticed I was going through Beer Advocate, and very often they've got Ayinger just one notch above Andechs in the same category. So I have three examples for you. In the Dunkelweizen category, so the dark wheat beer category, Ayinger is number 2 behind Weinstephaner Hefeweizen Dunkel. So Ayinger is number 2, that's the uweisse that I was talking about. And then number 3 is the Klosterbrauerei Andechs Weissbier Dunkel, the one that went up against the Weinstephaner. So I think we need to do a competition with either Andechs and or Weinstephaner going up against Ayinger on that. And then for just regular Hefeweizen, so the Hell version or Helles version, once again Weinstephaner ranks number 1, but then number 4 is Ayinger Weissbier, so this one is ranked number 4 on Beer Advocate. And then guess what number 5 is? This one, the Weissbier Hell by Andechs. So now their score is actually the same. They have the same 4.17 average. But actually let me click on that. The Andechs scores a 93. And so they actually rate them the same. They both, the Beer Advocate rating is 93, but an average rating of users, I guess this is out of 5, is 4.17. I see that the Tap 1 from Schneiderweiss is number 6, and it really upsets me because I can't find that anywhere, and I wonder if that's the first one I ever had. I know I talk about that all the time. Anyway, so in this category that we're doing today, the Ayinger is ranked 4 and the Andechs is ranked 5. So I'm interested to see if I agree or not, because I don't always agree with Beer Advocate's ratings. And then in Doppelbocks, this was very shocking to me, Ayinger is 1 and Andechs is 2. So in all 3 of these categories, which are 3 of my favorite styles, they list Ayinger just above Andechs, 1 notch above Andechs. Now rank the Andechs Doppelbock Dunkel 95, and they rank the Celebrator by Ayinger 96. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting that Ayinger's always just one notch rated above Andechs. And as you guys know, I'm a big Andechs fan. So I'm wondering, since I've never actually compared them side by side, what I'll think about that. Will this make me an Ayinger guy? Will I have to get some Ayinger glasses? Now, I understand these aren't the same type of glass. I know that. I'm using the Weinsteffen Moss mug for the Ayinger, and I'm using the branded Andechs glass for the Andechs. So anyway, I'll be very interested to see how this pans out. I'm trying not to pour this one as harshly, though probably not fair to do it less in the Ayinger. I do tend to like harder pours on beers, but the problem is that you do end up having to wait a long time for it to settle back down. And of course, it does also cause it to lose some of its carbonation because it's all going into the head. But like on Guinness, straight up and down pour. That's what I do. So anyway, I might not wait to empty these completely because I do want to leave some in the bottom of the glass and add in that yeast. So I might start first this time, so you can see them again. Andechs, Weissbier Hell, and the Ayinger Weissbier. That umlaut, the two dots over the A, combines with the U to make a diphthong. It's oi, which is the same sound they make with EU as well. But so, for instance, it's not Hofbrauhaus, it's Hofbräu. I know I'm being pedantic, just gotta deal with it. I'm sure the actual Germans are laughing at my pronunciation anyway. But let's go ahead and start smelling these. Oh wow, yeah. That typical banana clove scent really just comes right off the Ayinger. Now the Andechs, let me go back and check, because I think I said that in this category, they ranked the, 4 and 5. Now what's interesting is that I saw two, and I've told you this story before, two separate reviews that did blind taste tests of many different Weissbiers. I think it was the Real Craft Ale channel. Is that the craft beer? I can never remember the name of that channel. It's a very popular channel. Two British guys, where Andechs won, and the Swedish beer guy that also won. And so in the blind taste test, this seems to win a lot. So interesting. So I'm interested to see how this pans out. I really am. Similar. It smells like Hefeweizen. You stick this in front of me and smell, and I go, yeah, it's Hefeweizen. I wouldn't say this is skunky, but it does have, well, alright, let me see. This is 5.1%, the Ayinger, and the Andechs is 5.5, I believe. Yeah. I'm a little curious, because I'm getting, I don't know if I'd call it nail polish, but some sort of, and it's very faint. It's a little bit of a, getting a hint of something that's a little bit harsh. Try to get that yeast out of the bottom. Still some on the bottom there. I can never get it all out. Anyway, got those poured. There's a difference. This really isn't a fair comparison. The Andechs looks ever so slightly darker, but well, I don't know. Let's see. That must be true because this is I believe a wider glass, although I guess the interior diameter I don't know. It's just slight. I mean, they're very similar. That you know, the Andechs just looks like it has a little bit more orange added with the yellow. I see some of the yeast floating in there, and you get some of the cloudiness. So I think we're good on that front. Let's go ahead and continue. Very smooth. Whatever that, not pungent, but there's some sort of like, I don't know why nail polish keeps coming into my head, but something akin to that, but not as nasty. I do get that note on the flavor as well. I'm sure other people know. There's probably some technical term like acetyl something or other for it. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I mean the smell and the flavor match pretty well together. I mean they're pretty much the same. Okay, interesting. I'm kind of picking up that same note. I wonder if there's something about my palate today. Maybe I'm interpreting the clove that way for some reason today. It could be what's going on because I'm tasting it in both. Maybe I'm just really sensitive to the alcohol smell and taste today, but it's unusual because I usually am not. These are both excellent. I mean, I would not be disappointed either of these ordering it. Andechs is a very refreshing mouthfeel and finish. I don't know if I said this last time, but I've noticed this before, where there's a little bit of a pear note, and I believe the Craft Beer Channel test, they said the same thing. Now, I did have this just off camera. I guess it was a couple days ago. I remember thinking that I was a little disappointed because I remember from the Franziskaner review, the if I remember correctly, I was shocked at how good it was because I had it several times and I knew I liked it, but I was just kind of shocked at how much I liked it. And then I had it a couple days ago. It seemed bland, which tells me either that there's inconsistency or my taste buds change. And I think it's the latter is more likely. I think my taste buds sometimes just pick things up differently. I wanted to check something on that. Yeah. So after I did the comparison between Andechs and Franziskaner, because I think I said in the Franziskaner versus Andechs that I was a little surprised, and I was like, maybe I need to redo the Weinsteffen battle with Andechs. And I went back and checked my notes. I didn't say this because this was off camera. I went back and went back and forth, and I wrote off camera last sips to Andechs, meaning the last sips I had, I thought the Andechs was better. So after I turned off the camera, in the end, the Andechs was doing better. But I'm still sticking with the choice because I made a choice, as I always do, when I made it. And oftentimes in these, I do go back and forth between them. I've got different notes. Sometimes there could be interference between them. Drinking side by side, that's the one downside. So, let's go back. I will say the scent on this, there's that certain nail polishy smell that I just don't really care for. All right, so just as a reminder, I often do two of those back to back. So I do one where I swallow and then open my mouth, and then another where I swallow and then do the retronasal breathing out through the nose to get different notes. Cleanse my palate. There's a little bit of a lingering metallic souriness that I'm getting. I don't know if it's on both or just the Ayinger. The flavor is definitely stronger today than it was when I had it by itself off camera a couple days ago. This is a hard one, guys. Hope this water's not interfering with this either. This does have electrolytes in it. Very good. Okay, I'm going to give it to Andechs, and I'm not just being biased. There is just this little note I'm getting off the Ayinger, and that I just don't care for. And maybe it's the yeast. Like maybe I would like this better without the yeast being poured into it. But it's just enough of an off note where it's distracting to me and gives the edge to the Andechs. I still think it's a very delicious beer, but when I stop and think about it, that note just, it's all I can think about and it sort of destroys it. If I was just drinking it and not overthinking it, I'm sure it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But either way, I enjoy the Andechs more. So, sorry, beer advocate. I think you got this one wrong, and I would give the edge to Andechs. All right, take care. See you next time.